If we're high performers, there's a high chance that our brain is not fully optimized for us. Not because we're doing something wrong, but because in general, our nervous system is optimized for survival and not sustained performance and health. So here's the problem. The same mechanism that helps us push harder at work is the exact same mechanism that slowly burns us out. So it feels like we can perform, but not sustain it. We're productive, but our body feels off. We're successful, but something feels disconnected. This isn't random. It's neurological, all based on neuroscience. The problem is that most of us unknowingly rely on only one system in our whole body, the stress response system. This is controlled by the amygdala and the HPA axis. Its job is very simple, keeping us alive. So when there is pressure, deadlines, expectations, our brain releases cortisol and adrenaline, which gives us focus, drive, urgency. And it feels like we're high performing. But here's the trade off. This system is designed for short bursts and not for running our lives 24/7. Here's the neuroscience breakdown for you. When we stay in this state for too long, first of all, the prefrontal cortex just goes offline. That's the part responsible for decision making, long term thinking, cognitive flexibility. So we end up feeling busy but not clear, active but not strategic. Secondly, the nervous system becomes dysregulated. So we move into chronic sympathetic activation. This is our fight, flight, and freeze state. And this leads to poor sleep, digestive issues, constant tension, and emotional suppression. Thirdly, dopamine becomes unstable. So a lot of us rely on dopamine spikes, which lead to wins, progress, and stimulation. But chronic stress reduces sensitivity. So now we need more and more dopamine to feel motivated. Small wins don't land anymore, and we start chasing intensity. And this is where this pattern shows up: work, stimulation, substances, validation. So now we're stuck in a system where the thing that is driving our success is also reducing our ability to sustain it. And this is the paradox. This is where most of us get it wrong. We think, I need better habits. I need more discipline. I need to optimize my routine. I used to think the same, but this is all surface level. The real issue is our baseline state. In the Neuro-Game, I call this the game controller. It is our brain and our whole nervous system. And most of the time, we're operating from what I call the robot zone, which is stress driven performance, subconscious autopilot patterns, constant activation in stress. In contrast, the win zone is another way where the brain can operate from. It's sustained peak performance and optimized health. And this is where things shift. When our system is regulated, the parasympathetic system is active, the brain feels safe, and energy stabilizes. So now you can think clearly, you recover faster, you sustain performance without crashing anymore. Because the prefrontal cortex is online, dopamine is stable, and the body supports our output. This is what real peak performance looks like. Not stress, but regulation. I see this pattern constantly. Someone comes in performing at a high level, but their system is overloaded. They're wired at night, mentally scattered, and slightly disconnected. And the belief is, I just need to push through this last phase. I've been there too. But when we shift the nervous system state without lowering our ambition, everything can change. Clarity increases, recovery speeds up, energy stabilizes, and output becomes consistent, and we finally know and also follow our truth again. So, same person, but different brain state. Why most solutions fail is that most approaches focus on behavior, but performance is driven by our brain and nervous system state. When our system is dysregulated, we turn actually everything into stress, even the things that are supposed to help us, even rest, even meditation. What actually creates sustainable performance is rewiring the subconscious patterns, regulating the nervous system, shifting out of survival into safety states. That's the foundation of the Neuro-Game. So we don't remove the intensity of life and of work. We remove the resistance behind it. And this is where it gets deeper. Because we've been taught that burnout comes from doing too much. But neuroscience shows something else. It's a mismatch between our nervous system and our actions. I will break that down in another video in more detail. We were never designed to choose between performance, health, and fulfillment. This is not biology. That is an outdated conditioning. If this resonates, just start noticing. Are you pushing or are you actually regulated? That awareness alone can change a lot. And if you want support shifting this at the root, you can always reach out to me in the comments. And if you want to understand whether your brain and nervous system are working for you or against you, take the free Neuro-Game scan, which is linked in the description. When your brain and nervous system start working with you, you don't have to force performance anymore. You get to sustain it and your health optimizes. And that's a completely different game that you can finally enjoy.